Well, hello there, people of the internet, and hello again. I'm TheMBmulti. Welcome to part, I think this is 26 now, because I cut the previous one in two, of, 26, no, then this is 4, right? Because previous episode was 22, and I cut that into two, so that's 22, 23, so this is 24 in that case. In the previous episodes, we had an argument with Yuri, but it was mostly because my character chose by far the worst dialogue ever in existence to talk to Yuri about everything and anything ever. And just all the bad choices that I could have made were all chosen for me. I didn't do anything, I didn't make the choices myself, were all chosen for me and thrown at Yuri. And of course Yuri didn't take that very well. And yeah, just my character said a whole bunch of stupid shit that you never should say to any woman in that situation, and especially not to a woman that you know has low self-esteem, thinks herself as a freak and an idiot and someone that doesn't deserve to be with a wonderful person because she doesn't believe that she herself is a wonderful person, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm mostly angry at my character in the game and not necessarily at what I have done, but mostly at what the character did for me. So now this is the day after, so let's see if we can fix some things here. I wake up with a start. Strangely, I'm sitting on the couch with the blanket over me instead of laying in bed. As I pull the blanket off myself, fragments of memory suddenly flash through my mind. White day, cooking, yelling, blood, Yuri. My idiot dialogue options. That should also fucking go through your minds. Or my idiotic word choices. Oh god, Yuri. Adrenaline starts pumping through me again as I weigh over all my choices. What could I have done Oh, you could have done so many things differently, dude. You could have done so many different things differently. How did this happen? A long time ago. Actually, never, but also now. Nothing is nowhere. It makes sense, right? Springing up from the couch, I rub my hands over my face and stumble into the kitchen. I hadn't even cleaned up dinner yesterday. It's crazy how such a mundane chore can even seem urgent in the wake of what happens. Ha ha. But to my surprise, the dining table is clear. The dishes all stacked neatly in the drying rack. And the blankets. Mom must have... Yeah, fucking no shit. Mom? I felt like a child again as I walked through the house looking for my mom. At this point, I feel like Mom's the only one who will be able to comfort me. Geez, it must really be a mama's boy. It's in my bedroom that I happen to find her. Mom's sitting at my desk flipping through an old photo album. Mark, you're up. Yeah, I guess I am. I sit down on my bed next to her. For a few moments there's only the sound of the album pages crickling as they turn. Mom finally breaks the silence. Remember when we went to the beach that time? She points out a photo of a small chubby child digging a hole in wet sand at the beach. Must have been taken when I was 5. But maybe you have to be more specific. Maybe you have to be more specific though. Come on, it was the time you peed yourself because you were too busy playing to go to the bathroom. Ironic, because she also could have peed in the ocean right next to you, but instead you wet your pants in front of everyone. Hey, what's the point in bringing this up now? I can feel the heat rising in my face. Just reminiscing. There's another flip of a page, followed by a sigh. You were so cute as a kid. I'm not much of a looker now then. Now you're putting words in my mouth. Mom gazes fondly down at another photo. It's one of her and Dad standing proudly in front of our house, my 7-year-old self striking a silly pose in between them. Sometimes I wonder, would it have been better if I had insisted on leaving your father? Should I have just put up with it for your sake? I'm startled by the sudden change in topic. Mom never really talks about her feelings, much less the divorce. I mean, aren't you happier now? No, there's no denying that. But still, there are plenty of people who stick it out for their kids' sakes. I couldn't do that though. Oh god, no fucking shit. I don't need this, and no way that... Yeah, well... Yeah. There's no doubt that my own mum would say that. If this was me. But, you know, whatever. But there wouldn't have been any use in staying together if all you would have done was keep on arguing. I could tell that you guys were both unhappy, you know? Plus, everything turned out alright in the end anyway. It's better to be single than in a toxic relationship. Toxic relationship, huh? But you're super stressed out all the time? I remember a lot of arguments were about how much work you each did, and Dad would insist that you had it easier than him. Yeah. Ugh, that man. Still, you know that I was... you know that I was the one who insisted on the divorce, right? I could have forgiven him. I think after I showed him the papers, he was actually shocked into realizing how serious I was. He'd apologized to me and told me that he was willing to change. I didn't know that. But my pride stood in the way. I didn't want to back down and look weak. I didn't want to have long conversations about it with him after already explaining myself so many times in our arguments. And I couldn't bear going through this all over again if it turned out that he really didn't change. Knowing that, I think he would have gone back to his old ways after a while. Yeah, anyway, at least I'm happy that I got to focus on my career so much more after we separated. But that still came with the cost of not being able to watch over you as much as I wanted to. Seriously, it's okay. You got to do what you got to do, right? All things considered, I'm happy with the way things turned out. You know how my temper can get when I'm particularly irritated or tired, though. I gotta mention that there would have been much fun to argue with. Who knows, if you were more patient or communicative, things might have turned out differently. Speaking of arguments, you had one with Yuri yesterday, didn't you? Yeah. Jeez, an earth-shattering argument on White Day. That's not an exaggeration. And how did you know we had an argument? Mom rolls her eyes. Dinner was still on the table, barely eaten, and you were dozing off on the couch with TV turned on to an infomercial channel. Guess that makes sense. Well, I did want to ask you for advice on it, though. So what happened? I run my hands through my hair as I tried to recall everything that happened last night. Well, we started off by talking about Sayori while we were eating. Like, she asked me what we did together this other day, and I started talking about how good of a friend Sayori is. Well, you talked to Yuri about, about another girl on White Day? That's the point Yuri brought up too. Is there some kind of dating code that I'm missing? Apparently, Mark, what gave you the bright idea to talk up another girl so much in front of your girlfriend? And she's the one who brought Sayori up first, you know? Yeah, well, the way he fucking talked about her is not really smart. Anyways, then Yuri started hinting at how I shouldn't be talking about that, and I got kind of mad and told her that she should work on communicating more clearly. And then she started talking about how she has trouble communicating and has to deal with a lot of problems. And I told I have my own problems to deal with too. Mom winces. Yeah, exactly! I know I said some wrong things during our arguments. Anyway, Yuri started being really self-deprecating and then she left too. Then a bunch of stuff happened where Yuri kept calling herself a freak, and I told her that she should reconsider therapy, but she was really unreceptive to it. Mom was quiet for a few moments. I don't know if that's a good or a bad sign. I'm sorry if some of my summary was vague, but I don't really want to reveal any secrets without Yuri's permission, you know? It's quite alright, Mark, I get it. Thanks, but honestly speaking, I think a good portion of my points were valid. This is not the time to say who's right or wrong. I won't say I was in the right in our argument, but that's exactly what I fucking said. I keep predicting the game. You know, someone once said that everything before the word but is BS. Like, you shouldn't be looking at it that way in the first place. Both of you should be working to solve your problems together, not pitting yourselves not pitting yourselves against each other and trying to see who's right and who's wrong. That's exactly what I said. That's true. Still can't believe that this even happens. My brain keeps going over different things I said. Different things I could have done. Yeah, and there are lots. There are a lot of fucking options there. So that's probably why why your brain hurts a bit there. Everything that happened last night is just playing on repeats in my head. Now you feel how I feel, huh? Yeah, maybe Mom actually opened up more about the divorce for a reason. Here's your chance Here's your chance not to turn into another version of me and your father, though. It's probably true that you have a point, and that Yuri should probably learn to communicate her problems more effectively. But it also sounds she may have some deep-rooted problems that she wouldn't be able to get over as easily as you'd like. Yeah, exactly. The thing is, it seemed like she had been getting better, almost like she was cured or something. Mom shakes her head. If these problems are anything similar to what I'm thinking now, it'll take a lot more work to cure them. And even though I'm using the word cure, it may just be that the problems go more into remission than anything. Or they might never fully go away at all. Also, I hope you didn't use that exact phrasing with her. No, I didn't. Good, I'm guessing you haven't talked to her yet today. I haven't even brushed my teeth yet. Were you planning on talking to her then? Well, I don't know, wouldn't she want her space? Our communication is key. Look, I know it's going to be awkward and weird after everything that was said and done yesterday, but it's better to clear things up sooner rather than later, before misunderstandings crop out or negative thoughts become conflated with reality. If you don't talk, how are you going to be able to apologize and solve your issues together? I'm not saying that you should totally hound her, on the topic, because she may very well want some time to think things through. But you still need to open up a dialogue about these things so that you both know where you stand. That makes sense. Now, I'm really dreading talking to her, though. There were some harsh words thrown around last night. I don't really know how I'm gonna face her. You won't know until you try, right? I mean, I know it's going to be awkward. Just talk to her. In fact, why don't you call her right now? Can I eat breakfast first? First of all, it's really noon. And secondly, no. But I don't even know if she's gonna pick up. You don't think I called her last night after she stormed off? Tensions were high at that moment, Mark. If she doesn't pick up now, then at least text her. I reluctantly pull out my phone. What a surprise, no calls or messages back. Come on, I believe in you. Okay, I get it. As I slowly look for Yuri's name in my contacts, which is also purple, very appropriate, Mom stands up, snapping the photo album shut. Don't worry, I'm going to give you your privacy while you call. Let me know how it goes. Thanks. Of course. Before she steps through the door, I stop her one last time. Alright, Mom? Thanks for everything. I mean, talking to me, helping me clean up and stuff yesterday. Yeah. That was too... Oh, no, it wasn't. What a lovely episode this is turning out to be. Holy fuck. It's all part of the job. With that, she shuts the door with a soft click. It's just me and my thoughts now, plus my phone. Cutting up a little courage I have remaining, I force myself to dial Yuri's number. The dial tone rings on faintly. It's the same as ever, indifference to the tumultuous feelings within me. I'm almost hoping that Yuri doesn't pick up. Oh, she did. Holy shit. Yuri. Did Yuri actually pick up? Hello? Now that she's actually on the line, I've suddenly forgotten everything I wanted to say. Hi. One walked, you called her for a reason. I'm glad you picked up. Ah. To be honest, I was tempted to ignore your call again. Oh. At least you picked up? Then why did you pick up? I don't know. Actually, I suppose one reason was because I knew that you'd be thinking what you'd be thinking. You were worrying that I'd have killed myself, weren't you? It's alright. That's only to be expected. Damn, she got me. It's not the only reason why I called, but it's a huge looming fear that's been on the back of my mind for this whole time. I didn't want to admit it to myself, but it's true. I was worried that Yuri would have committed suicide. I mentally berate myself. Come on, Yuri's not so fragile that she'd off herself after one argument, right? Stop thinking that she's made out of glass. Although she might not have committed suicide, but would it have been so far-fetched to think that she could have accidentally cut too deeply and bled out? An image of her desperate scratching flashes through my mind. Yuri, I'm sorry. Sorry for everything that happened last night. There were a lot of things that I shouldn't have said. As you can see, I'm not the most sensitive or tactful person sometimes. I'm sorry too for allowing myself to show you that part of me. I can't believe I actually scratched myself in front of you. It was just such an overwhelming impulse. Obviously. It's okay, Yuri. I was about to say I get it, but do I really get it? All these issues, they're really difficult for you to deal with, aren't they? We both acted on impulse yesterday. I suppose so. You know, you were right. I can't imagine how it must feel to be you and to have to deal with, you know. There's a sigh coming from the other end. It's so quiet that I can hardly make it out. Thank you for acknowledging that. It's just so tiring not having anyone to be able to understand that side of me. Of course, I'm not blaming you for not being able to understand. It's simply that all these feelings are extremely isolating. Well, I know that I must sound like a broken record at this point, but I'll always be here for you. I might not totally get what you tell me, but I'll try to help the best I can. And that includes helping you feel less isolated. Last night I was really mad at the problems, not at you. I just don't know how to voice my frustration clearly enough. I wasn't self-aware enough to really pinpoint the source of my emotions until now. We're both in this together. Let's fight these problems alongside one another. Holy fuck! You could have said something along those lines yesterday and none of this would have happened. Sayori for not being able to speak to you so openly about everything. It's alright, it's a working... Congratulations, dude. Holy fucking shit. Thank you. Yes, it is. Actually, can I come over to your place right now? So that we can talk about these things face to face? Plus, I know you have phone anxiety, so... Or we can talk somewhere else if you're more comfortable with that. Sorry, but I'd rather not. Oh, okay. It's not your fault, it's just that I believe I need some time to think about things. You mean you need some space for now, right? But I agree with you in terms of working together to assuage, but whatever the fuck it's called, these issues. I need to put my thoughts in order first before I can try explaining things to anyone. Sorry, I'm no good at speaking about these things unless I've properly thought through my words. No, that's perfectly understandable. I guess it was too much to hope that everything would be fixed in one phone call. There's a lot to mull over. Yeah, there definitely is. Thank you for taking the effort to call and make things right, Mark. I don't know if I would have had the strength to do the same. Of course. We really care about you, Yuri, don't you forget that. I won't. Thank you for everything though, really. I'll see you at school on Monday then. I mentally sigh in relief. It's not like Yuri can't bear to see my face then. Sounds like a plan. If you'd like, we could continue this conversation during lunch. I believe I'll be ready to talk by then. Are you sure? You really don't have to force yourself. Yes, If I don't do it then, I'll never be able to do it. Okay, I just wouldn't want you to be uncomfortable talking about everything. My mind flashes back to Yuri talking about being the perfect girlfriend. Please trust me when I say that I'd rather you wait until you're good with talking than force yourself to do so. You can't rush progress when it comes to these things, right? Yes, you definitely can't rush it, but I think I'll be able to talk about it. But in the case that I do start to have trouble speaking, I'll tell you. Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. Would you like to meet at the rooftop during lunch then? That'll do just fine. Plus, we won't have to worry about the others eavesdropping on our conversation. So, I guess that's it for now. And I'm always bad at ending conversations on the phone. I suppose so. Again, thank you for calling, Mark. Well, thank you for being receptive to me, even after our argument. It's only fair. After all, I stoked the flames just as much as you. Either way. Are you doing anything right now? I had been cooking lunch when you called. Alright, it's about noon right now. I'll let you get back to it then. Oh, okay. Thank you. See you on Monday. Goodbye. After a brief pause, a small click sounds as the line goes dead. Breathe a sigh of relief. I breathed a sigh of relief. That's over and done with, and it actually went pretty well. Lunch on Monday, huh? I better prepare myself for the emotional exhaustion I'll inevitably feel that day. But for now, lunch sounds really good. Okay, there it fucking goes. Fucking hell. It's mostly just the stuff with the mother that's fucking messing me up. Holy fuck. Apologies. Am I even gonna fucking upload this? Why the fuck would I upload all this bullshit? Well, that's the third video I've ever posted, I believe, where I've been actually fucking crying. I believe. I don't keep count, but I'm pretty sure that's been 3 videos so far. And 2 of which were in Doki Doki Blue Skies. And the other video was, of course, the series update video where I explained what happens. Shall we go? Yeah, fuck it, I'll just continue this. Oh god, it's finally lunch! Time to meet Yuri. My time to meet up with Yuri. It's strange seeing all the students mill around me without a care in the world. They're far removed from the drama that Yuri and I had to deal with these past few days. I wonder how this situation would have played out between different players. Would it have turned out better, worse? Somehow I doubt that anyone around me right now has to deal with anything like what Yuri and I have gone through. Wait, scratch that. Hasn't hanging out with Yuri taught me anything about judging books by their covers? I mentally shake my head. Come on, Mark, you have no idea what anyone else is going through. Yeah. Sayori, Natsuki, and even, dare I say it, Monika. Judging others, Yuri's spoken a lot about the topic before. Yuri, am I even prepared for this conversation? As I make my way to the roof, each step seems to grow heavier and heavier. My uniform seems to be uncomfortably warm, while my palms have suddenly collected a layer of sweat. Before I know it, I'm in front of the rooftop entrance. Man, here goes nothing. As always, it takes my eyes a little time to adjust to the brilliant sunlight outside. Soon enough, though, I'm able to make out a tall, long-haired girl standing at the edge of the roof. The contrast between her violet hair and pale blue sky makes her hair look all the more dark. Yuri. I step closer to her, prompting a slight peek over from her. Hi, Yuri. Don't look at this. It's fine. She doesn't move though, so I elect to stand beside her and look down at the school grounds below. Hello, Mark. Hey, Yuri. Normal enough of a start to the conversation. Yuri runs her fingers along a chain link fence blocking off the edge of the roof. It's a nice day out, isn't it? I guess so. You haven't had lunch yet, right? Well, lunch just started, so... Oh, right. Yuri's face turns slightly red, but she quickly turns to rummage through her bag. I can't tell if it's to hide her face or not. However, she eventually pulls out a package tied together with a large handkerchief. A benzo? You really think that you are a monster, Yuri? Yeah, I'm already an emotional wreck right now, so of course this shit is gonna get me now. You, after all the fucking bullshit dialogue options that my character threw at you, you do this as response. It shows to me that who the more responsible, more adult person is in this relationship here. At least if you compare it to my character rather than me myself. But okay. You never bring very nutritious lunches, and since we planned on eating together... Well, are you sure? I did bring some bread, so... I made my own bento too, so... If you don't eat it, it's just going to be wasted. Yeah. If it was really me there, I would start crying right there. Probably. Just like now. Although now it's mostly because I was already a bit emotional before this fucking started, but okay. Fine. I really have to fucking contemplate whether I'm actually going to fucking upload this train wreck of a video. But it was made specifically for you, so... If this is a peace offering, it's the best peace offering I've ever received. Holy crap, thanks. Your cooking is always delicious. I feel bad that I don't have anything for you now. No, that's okay. It's actually good that I don't have anything returned, because that's something that Yuri was afraid of. That she said before, so it's fine. I made it for you because I wanted to, not because I expected anything. Yeah, I keep fucking... I keep fucking... predicting dialogue boxes. Ah, Yuri. I take the boxes from her and peek inside. Rice, grilled beef, some kind of salad, and dumplings. Fucking... And then... Fucking hell, man, Yuri. And then you think that you're a monster? Even made my favorite dumplings for it? Oh, that's the... I didn't know that did that. Yes. I bought some before, so... Yuri, you don't know how much I appreciate you. Well, you would if you saw my fucking face right now. I believe I have a good enough idea for that. We chuckle lightly for a bit, but then Yuri's face suddenly falls. Mark, I'm so sorry for everything that happened on White Day. Now that I think over what I did and said that day, I feel so ashamed. She bites her lip hard. I can hardly believe that it actually happened. Yuri, I'm sorry too. I shouldn't have pressed you so hard on things you obviously can't just change on a whim. Thank you, but I know that I was really the instigator. Well, if I hadn't cluelessly gone on and on about Sayori, but I also could have outright told you why that was bothering me. Instead, I choose to internalize all my negative thoughts, and it manifested in, well, blatant self-hatred. I mean, it's not like you explicitly chose to internalize it all, right? These deep-seated problems you have. I get that sometimes you can't help second-guessing yourself or thinking in a certain way. But in order to improve my mental health, does I have to change these thought processes? Well, yeah, but doesn't it still take a huge amount of time and effort before you're able to fully change it? It's slow going in the beginning, right? And on that day, tensions had been running high anyway, so it would have been harder to be self-aware about it. Plus, I'm sure that some of my comments didn't help matters either. That's true, but either way, Yuri takes a deep breath. You were right, the biggest problem in our relationship right now is most likely communication. and that's really on me. Yuri, it's fine, Mark. You don't have to try and make me feel better. I've accepted that it's generally a fault of mine that I'm too emotionally suppressive. After all these years, I've just gotten in the habit of hiding my true thoughts and feelings from everyone. That's actually a bit selfish of me. I don't tell anyone anything so that I can avoid being judged. But that's a perfectly valid reason not to talk about some things, right? Maybe, but I doubt that it's a completely healthy mindset. It stops me from communicating effectively with others too. So, I'm going to try to explain everything. All of it to you. All the reasoning behind my thought processes and how I generally feel about certain things. I truly did some introspection on over the weekend to figure things out. Well, if you're up for it, I'm all ears. I don't know if I'll be able to understand everything. I probably won't be able to relate to a whole lot of what you feel. But I'll try my best to be as empathetic as possible. That's all I'd ask of you. Once again, Yuri takes a breath to steady yourself. Where should we start? We could start with the argument. Well, that's as good a place as any. There's a strange wry smile on Yuri's face. Now that I think about it, I was probably overreacting during our argument. Wasn't I? It's a game we get angry from time to time. I definitely said some things that were out of line. But how would you have known what to say? You're not a licensed psychologist. And you don't self-harm, so it's not as though you know exact things to say to me. I mean, I could have not said some things though, too. If I'd given some more thought before speaking, I could have realized that some of my words were hurtful to anyone, not just a self-harm. I literally said, that is exactly what I fucking said. I can't, because my brain is mush right now, but I can't remember which episode that was. But that's exactly what I fucking said. It's totally fine to talk about your day with Sayori and stuff, but not in the way that my character was doing that. That could hurt anyone. Yeah, and also that, yeah. I should have said that other people have problems too. That's true. But you said that it seemed to invalidate my own issues. Yeah, exactly. And minimize my suffering. Yeah, like other people have problems too. You should just suck it up and deal with it. See, I definitely did not mean to invalidate you. Yeah, but the same thing with all the stuff that he said about Sayori. I mean, as I said, it's totally fine to talk about what you did with Sayori, but the way he talked about her, even though Yuri knows that I wouldn't betray her or anything like that, just the way he talked about the words that the guy chose and the way he constructed those sentences seemed like it seemed like he said that I can only get a certain happiness with Sayori and not with Yuri. That's what he didn't mean that, obviously, but he said it, but the sentence implied it that way. And of course, the guy didn't mean it that way, but that's how the sentences can very extremely easily be interpreted, and that's of course what Yuri did, because we all know Yuri. What was something else I said? How would you feel if oh yeah, that was also a fucking horrible line. How would you feel if I did this? Oh yeah, I think I actually said that a couple times. Actually, could you explain why it's so bad to say? Oh, fucking hell, okay. Alright, it's likely not very obvious to someone who isn't too familiar with the thoughts behind self-harm. Well, I don't self-harm either, but I even know that that's a stupid line to say. And even though I may not know the perfect, psychological reason why that's a stupid line to say, it's just it's a gut feeling that tells you don't say shit like that. I believe the best way to put it would be that saying that guilt trips me. Makes me feel worse about myself because it makes me that much worse. It makes me that much more aware of how self-harm affects others around me. Then it makes me feel like cutting even more. It's a bit of a cycle, but it makes me feel terrible, which makes me cut, which makes me feel even worse. Which leads to my cutting again, etc, etc. I'm so sorry, I had no idea. It's okay, now you know. Now that you say it, it seems so obvious. Yeah! Hindsight is 20 out of 20, I suppose. Yeah, I guess so. Man, I wish I hadn't spoken without thinking so much. Especially sorry for the ugly mess comment. Yuri looks down at her arm. You're covered by your sleeves. They're covered by your sleeves right now, but of course I can imagine the scarring underneath the cloth. Well, you're right. Huh? They are ugly. Well, to be honest, there was a time when I liked the way they looked. But that was at a time when I was in an even worse state of mind, if you can believe it. Guessing it might have been around, yeah, that seems reasonable, when her parents died. Quite simply, I'm disfiguring myself. And I feel like I deserve to be disfigured. It's like self-harm allows me to externally show how I feel on the inside. I don't really know what to say to that. I feel the need to punish myself for making mistakes and things like that. Yeah, and then she says this, and then she does the most fucking considerate thing like a few seconds before this, where she actually made me a fucking lunch with fucking food that I like. And then my fucking character comes over there and throws those stupid comments at her during that afternoon, evening. The first time I cut my arm, I was almost mesmerized by the blood flowing down my skin. It felt strange seeing my arm mirrored like that, but in a way it felt right. Yuri, you don't have to say anything. I know you probably don't know what to say. She's got that right. Even so, I hope you know that when I say that, I was mad at self-harming itself, and not at you, if that makes sense. I understand. Sorry if this is too soon, but... Nah, I don't know a good way to ask. Oh god, what are you gonna ask? You didn't do you didn't do anything too bad to yourself after our argument, did you? Sorry for asking so clumsily. I really don't know how I can breach the topic in a sensitive way. It's alright, the scratching helped take the edge off a lot, so I didn't really do anything worse than what I usually do. I still can't believe I did that in front of you. Or my thoughts and emotions just suddenly overwhelmed me. It was almost as if a physical pressure was building up within me. I see. Damn, I can't imagine. Well, I'm glad you can't imagine this. You know what you said about me not trying to change myself? Yeah, that was also a fucking stupid line. As if she's not fucking trying her hardest. It's fine, to be honest. I don't think I've actually been trying all that much. That's not true, Yuri. That's just not true. Sometimes a wave of motivation comes over me that makes me want to change, but that doesn't happen too often. I'm scared of how it will be when I don't self-harm to help me feel in control again. That physical pain, it's something I can understand and manipulate myself. Something that has a definitive end. It's the way that I've always coped. It's not often that something makes me feel like discarding. It's not often that something makes me feel like discarding that. You did talk a bit about this before, I think. It was probably the first time I came over to your house. Yeah, I suppose I did. At the end, I suppose I don't want to change. Yuri, come on, you might say that, but you have changed already. She gives me a questioning look. You become more confident in yourself when you speak to others, for one thing. Remember when you never felt like saying hi to Natsuki before? And look at you right now. You're opening up to me about this stuff. Sure, you may still have your flaws, but that alone shows that despite what you tell yourself, you're willing to change. Yeah, exactly. She's been doing it a whole lot. So change is all that bad, right? You're right, as usual. You don't deserve all of this, Yuri. Please trust me when I say that. And I wouldn't lie to you about that either. Okay, thank you, Mark. I slowly sneak my hand over to touch Yuri's. Surprisingly, she actually grabs my hand in response. It feels freeing to talk about this with you. Yeah, fucking freeing! It feels ridiculously freeing for me right now. I feel so free. Oh man, you won't believe it. Fucking hell. By far the fucking worst episode I've ever fucking recorded in my fucking life. Well, apart from the series update video, obviously. Is it really okay for me to burden you with this? Of course, what kind of person would I be if I didn't support my loved ones? Thank you. Anyway, no one's perfect, as you both know by now. If you're willing to forgive me, then I definitely think you should be able to forgive yourself, if that makes sense. You don't have to be the perfect girlfriend, because there's no such thing. Oh god, I just remembered. Which reminds me, please tell me whenever you're uncomfortable with anything, Yuri. It's kind of an awkward subject to broach. But I've got to address it. And if you don't want to do something, like, if you don't want to be intimate or at the moment or anything, you can just say no. No one has the right to demand anything of you in that way. There'll never be hard feelings about it if you say no, because you don't owe anyone sex or whatever. Sorry, I just didn't know what to do at the moment. There were so many expectations and worries clouding my mind that I just forced myself. But don't worry, I don't blame you or anything. You don't have to apologize. I'd never get mad at you if you turn intimacy down. In fact, isn't it better if we're both happy and willing to do something? Yes, I know that now, but that wasn't the case at the time. Either way, thank you for bringing this up. To be quite honest, it was quite weighing me down a bit, but I wasn't sure of how to bring it up without turning into an awkward mess. Well, I've been talking to you for a while now, Yuri, and as if I'm not a fucking awkward mess right now. Well, awkward maybe not, but a mess for sure. It's comforting to confirm that it's okay if I don't force myself. Yeah, it's definitely a subject that had to be addressed. At any rate, whatever happens, I'll try to support you as my girlfriend. That is, if you still want to call yourself that. Yes, I don't think I'm much inclined to breaking up with you, especially not after you've been so kind and understanding towards me. Well, I guess I meant to ask you if you needed to go on a break or not. I definitely get that you might want some space, so... Huh? Well, it is nice being able to speak on my own terms, knowing that I could take my time about things and think about myself. But I also know that I still love you. So would it be alright with you if we just took it slowly? Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't have expected everything to go back to normal after just one conversation anyway. Honestly, I wasn't even expecting her to want to stay with me. The bell suddenly... Oh yeah, well, fuck it. The longest lunch time ever. Just long enough for us to have this conversation. The bell suddenly rings, startling us out of our quiet discussion. Geez, we really lost track of time, huh? We hardly even ate. We were so busy talking. Well, I'm definitely glad we had this conversation. I think it helped me understand you a lot more. And I'm glad I was able to work with on my communication. But I guess we better get to class for now. But I'll meet you at the usual place to walk to the club together, okay? Okay, see you then, Mark. And once again, thank you. Back at ya. Fucking hell. Sayori, are you in here? I need some cheering up, please. My mood has seriously lifted from how I felt these parts. No. I don't know if you... don't know if you're seeing the face cam right now, but it isn't really, hasn't vaporized in thin air. Ironic considering the dark subject matter that Yuri and I talked about during lunch. But it just feels nice knowing that someone I love trusts me enough to talk about these things. And it's definitely gladdening to be able to resolve a conflict peacefully and come out of it a better person. I still worry about Yuri, of course, but now I feel more hopeful about our future together. Sneaking a glance at Yuri, who is sitting beside me, I catch her eye and offer her a smile. She smiles softly back in return, and then turns her attention back on the book in front of her. I could definitely see her fighting through all the problems in her way. I could definitely see her fighting through all the problems in her way. But before now, we're back as the we're back in the companionable silence that so often settles between us. To me, it's an indication that things can get better again. Okay, everyone. Okay. I'm also fine with Monika. I need some positivity here, Monika. Monika's announcement once again startles me out of my reverie. We all know that school's ending this week, right? Woo! Summer vacation! I can't wait to do nothing all day. Everyone here can probably relate to that. Anyway, I was thinking, how about we meet up outside of school during the summer to hang out? That sounds like a great idea, Monika. I probably would have wanted to keep seeing you guys throughout the summer anyway. After all, we're not just a club, we're full friends. Well, if you all insist, I'd be open to hanging out. Geez, Natsuki, you don't have to be so coy about it. Hey, speak for yourself. In my case, I'd definitely be down for a little club trip. Me too. If it helped me keep me out of the house. And I wanted to keep talking to everyone here. That's decided then. Let's meet up the Saturday after school officially ends, if that's alright with you all. We all unanimously agree. I catch Natsuki sneaking a smile at Yuri, but Natsuki only sticks her tongue out at me when I make eye contact. At this point, I would even just fucking randomly hug Natsuki. Like, at this point, it's like, what the fuck? Fuck it. Just fuck it. I'll give her a pat on the head because I'm pretty sure she would fucking flip out when I do that. Looks like everything's as normal as it could get for now. Normalcy is underrated anyhow. Alright, well, that's it for this episode. By far the most fucking pathetic, ridiculous, emotional mess of a fucking dumpster fire of an episode I've ever recorded in my fucking life. Holy fucking shit. Well, apologies for the fact that I pretty much barely ever fucking did any proper commentary or anything. And was mostly using this fucking, this thing. But... yeah, just the fucking fact, there's just the mom bits, they get me every single fucking time. Well, not every single time, but they make me think of my own mom every single time. And sometimes it just gets the better of me, which only means that I'm just a human, I guess. And then the part with Yuri, when my brain was still a sloppy emotional mush, and Yuri was just like... yeah, just the fact that Yuri still considers herself as a monster and then she fucking made food, even though, like... and then still think, like, just the contradiction. She thinks she's a monster when she does the sweetest things and she says she hasn't changed when you can clearly see the change that she's made. It's so sad. But also, like, beautiful in a way, so, like... she has actually come very far, but it's sad that she doesn't realize it, or doesn't want to realize it, or whatever. But yeah, anyway, what the fuck. This was a ridiculous episode, and I don't even know what our fucking upload is. If I don't, then I have to do the entire part all over again, which I don't really feel like, so... who knows? Anyway. Yeah. I guess that's it. Hopefully next episode will be a lot Well, there'll still be a serious stuff going on, of course, but hopefully the next episode will be a bit less of this and a bit more of not this, like, you know. Ugh. Anyway, yeah. So that's it for this. Yeah, what did I describe it? Well, at least a fucking dumpster fire of an episode for sure. Yeah. That's it. I am gonna go and do something else. I'm gonna take a break from this game for a bit because I feel like I don't know. I'm just gonna shoot some demons up in Doom Eternal or something. You know, some to distract my mind or something. I don't know what I'm gonna fucking do. I'm gonna go to bed. That's what I'm gonna do, actually. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. See you later, Romans. Walete.